Hey everybody, it's Fox from Inferno Fox Gaming. With the passing of the legendary Akira Toriyama at the age of 68 on Thursday, March 7th, 2024, just wanted to pay my own respects and in tribute to this fantastic artist. Now, one of the things is I'm going to respect the privacy of the Toriyama family and only focus on his life's work. I'm not going to discuss anything regarding his own personal life and his own family and everything. And of course, at this time, there's no word on any of the projects that he may have had a hand in working on or collaborating with. But again, I'd imagine they'd be able to continue, but this isn't really the time for that. I want to focus more on the man, the legend, and especially everything that he helped to create. And I'm not going to go through any of the YouTube self-promotion bojazz. Let's just jump right into it. Toriyama's works really impacted me greatly because, of course, me personally, as the first anime that I got into was Dragon Ball Z. Yep, I'm part of the Cartoon Network Toonami groups. You know, you get off of school and everything like that and have to flip on Cartoon Network for Toonami and all of the anime and everything that it showed. This of course, in the late 90s and early aughts. And this, of course, is a video game channel. We focus on video games first and foremost, but really, I can't ignore the numerous parallels to anime with video games, especially those that are in Japan and like the JRPGs. And to that end, it of course is worth noting and reminding. Most likely, my audience knows this, but Toriyama was a primary character and monster designer for the Dragon Quest series, as well as a character designer for the fantastic Super Nintendo game Chrono Trigger. Now, kind of jumping back to the anime scene of it, the big question is, what did Dragon Ball Z mean to me? So this, of course, was the gateway to a whole bunch of other anime that I got into. Although I'm not into anime as much as I was in like my teens and 20s, but you got stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Yu Yu Hakusho and so on and so forth. I wouldn't have had any of that if it wasn't for Dragon Ball Z. Thanks again to Toonami, but there would not have been an American dub had it not been for the original. Thanks again to Toriyama. And of course, the anime stems from his manga that had published on Shonen Jump. I, of course, have all the graphic novels, probably and most like a whole bunch of his fellow Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super fans and everything like that. But Dragon Ball Z is one of those where I'm just so appreciative of being able to watch the literal lifelong struggle of Goku and him fighting against all odds, breaking limits, and really the whole making friends with enemies and really looking to challenge and test himself. And there's a whole metaphor to that, being able to be your best self. That was something that really drove home for me, and just the whole thing with Dragon Ball Z. I can always go back to that as a comfort food should I need it. It's one of those shows too that I like to watch whenever I'm sick, for example. So another one, of course, is Chrono Trigger, and that Chrono Trigger really means to me how this was really the last video game that me and my older brother, who's no longer with us, really bonded together and sort of played together. This was the last RPG that he had beaten first, and it was one of those things where I'll always have the memories of that, and I wouldn't have had that had Toriyama not worked with the Dream Team to make Chrono Trigger. And again, Dragon Quest, he was a primary character and monster designer for the Dragon Quest games. And this is interesting because I hadn't gotten into Dragon Quest until 2020, and that thanks, of course, to the event that rhymes with Shmovid Tainmin. And it was really a thing where playing Dragon Quest 1 through 11, not 10, since an MMO only in Japan, really was an experience where it helped to have me go back to like my JRPG turn-based roots, especially when I had gotten so sick of playing the same Final Fantasy games over and over again. And it was really a fun game, and it had that Toriyama-esque sort of humor and everything. So I'm just so grateful to have had that experience. And Toriyama's unfortunate passing really reminds me of when Charles Schultz died. back it was almost immediately after he retired, after nearly 50 years of publishing Peanuts cartoons. Now, I grew up and read the Peanuts cartoons as a little kid, so when Schultz died when I was 16, it kind of felt like a part of me, a part of my childhood died. And now with Toriyama gone, it kind of feels like there's a part of me from my teens and 20s that went with him. But even though he is gone, the various works that he created and the memories that I created from experiencing his works, either on my own, with friends, and more than that, they're never really going to go away. And it's really, for those works and the memories, I'll always be grateful, and I will always be grateful to Akira Toriyama for making all of that happen. Thanks again for watching, and have a good day.